Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Yongsen, and I'm from Secondary 4 of Bridgesville. So, before I begin, I want everyone to do one thing with me. Close your eyes for just a moment. Everyone? Okay. Now, imagine the first time when you had to speak in front of an audience. It could be a class presentation, a debate, or even just introducing yourself on the first day of school. Remember how you felt. You might be nervous, your palms might be sweating, and maybe just for a moment, you wish you could disappear. Okay, now you can open your eyes. I believe almost all of us have a memory like that. For me personally, it was when I gave my first presentation in the school assembly. And of course, I've done public speaking before, but this time it was different. The audience was a lot larger, a lot bigger than this. And I can still picture it now. The bright stage lights, the sea of faces staring back at me, and my heart was pounding so loud I could barely hear my own voice. I thought to be a good speaker, I have to be confident, to sound perfect, and to never make a mistake. But something changed that belief forever. A year after that presentation, I was given another chance to present. And ironically, the topic was how to overcome the fear of public speaking. And this time, I did better. It wasn't perfect, but it was still better. I still remember making a mistake. At the end, I asked a question. And halfway through, I realized I never explained it. My brain froze. So I said, guess the answer. I thought it would be awkward and that the audience would laugh. And they did, but they didn't laugh at my mistake. They laughed together with me, and we connected. That's when I realized that the best public speakers aren't the most confident. Instead, they're the most human. And we have all been taught that great speakers are the most confident ones. Think about it. When we imagine a good speaker, we picture someone that's standing tall, perfect postures, and that never stutters. That's the image schools, teachers, even YouTube tutorials tell us to project. And don't get me wrong, confidence is still very powerful. In fact, it's important. But if confidence is all that matters, then the rest of us, the shy ones, the nervous ones, and the human ones, we are all left out. And maybe that's why public speaking is so terrifying. But here's the truth. Confidence impresses an audience for a moment, but being human connects with them for a lifetime. And that's when I realized that the best public speakers aren't the most confident, instead, they're the most human. When I started observing great speakers, not just how they spoke, but why people actually listened to them, I noticed something. The ones who left an impact weren't the most confident, instead, they're the most human. Think about it. In class, when your teacher teaches something through a story, you feel more interested, right? Now, so if being confident is not as important as being human, you may ask, how can we talk more like a human on the stage? Over the past few years, I have learned a couple of ways that had helped me sound more like myself. The first lesson I learned is to tell stories instead of just facts. Because you can tell 1,000 statistics, but by the time the audience leave, they will forget about it. Tell them a story, and they'll remember it for years. So think about it. In class, your teacher teaches something through a story. Of course, you're more interested. And that's what a good story does. It doesn't just speak to the brain, it speaks to the heart. So the next time you find yourself on a stage, I want you to share and not just present. Another thing is to show vulnerability. Too often, we are taught to hide our nerve, cover our mistakes, and to act fearless. But vulnerability, it builds trust. And that's the most important, amazing thing ever. Because Brene Brown once said, vulnerability is a weakness. Instead, it's courage. When you share something that did not go well, people don't lose respect. Instead, they gain it. Because at that moment, the audience stops seeing you as a speaker, and they start seeing you as a friend. Now, something that truly makes a difference is to be conversational instead of being performative. Too often, we think that we need to sound like a speaker. But the truth is, the best talks, they don't sound like speeches. Instead, they feel like a conversation. The moment you drop that performative voice and just start talking like yourself, that's when everything changes. Because your audience relaxes, and so do you. Now, finally, the most important lesson of all is, of course, to be yourself. I still remember trying to copy other speakers. It could be their tones, their jokes, even their hand gestures, and it always felt unnatural. It felt like wearing clothing that just did not fit, right? And the moment I start talking like myself, that's when everything changed. I relax, I'm more relaxed, the audience are more relaxed, and the thing I noticed was the audience, they don't want perfection. They want presence and they want you. Now, I want everyone to do something one last time with me. Close your eyes once again. Okay, now imagine you're standing there once again, but this time you chose to be human. Not because you're fearless, but because you're a human, you're real. You speak not to impress, but you speak to connect with them. And that's what public speaking really is. So the next time you find yourself on a stage, don't aim to be the most confident ones, instead aim to be the most human ones in the room. Now you can all open your eyes. Thank you so much.